Joseph A. Tyran, electronics technician, 3rd class. Gee, we also, then of course we went to the Bay of Pigs invasion, and I did write an article that you have. That was in our reunion paper. They were looking for stories. This was my first hand that I witnessed during that period of time. And that was quite involved. I can recall, and you can read that article. It's a couple of pages. That was probably the poorest morale I've ever seen on the ship, because the radio that was installed at the DNS piers in Norfolk, of course, we knew all the electronic stuff that was on the ship. And this Motorola technician came in and installed this radio. We didn't know what it was for. Nobody told us what it was for. But it was by the captain's seat chair. And it was actually a communicating device for the rebels, to communicate with the rebels. And we left port, and off the coast of Florida, they stopped the ship, and they painted off the numbers off the ship. And our Desron 28 emblem on the stack was covered with a gray canvas, okay? And then we got underway, and we went down into the Caribbean and rendezvoused with the rebels and escorted them into the bay. We couldn't. The plan of the day did not have our USS Murray DD 576 Fleet Post Office box. New York was gone. No type of paper or anything was to be thrown off the board, off the ship. We did not fly the American flag. So, and we were told at the time that air support was going to come from the Essex, I believe it was the Essex. And they were going to launch aircraft, and it was delayed an hour. And when the hour came up, it never happened. And then we had learned that President Kennedy decided to cancel it. So they went in there, and Castro was waiting for him. But like I said about the, we were at combat, and I could go either between combat information or the radar transmitter room. Those were my areas that I would be in. And I used to go to combat because it was cooler there, you know. And I was watching the radar with one of the radar men, and he reported a bogey as this plane coming in, and he gave bearing, and he gave range. And alongside the radar repeater, there was a aircraft early warning system. So he pushes the button on it, and that gives range and bearing to gunnery. And if they have the system in automatic, guns will automatically come to that area. Not precisely, because fire control radar has to take over from there. And he was, you know, I reported it, and I can remember the captain calling for a gunner's mate. His name is Elliot, and he says, man the machine gun, and the machine gun was mounted on a flying bridge. So he went up there and he manned the machine gun. Then a visual lookout, seen the aircraft coming, passed from, and it was on fire, it was hit. Went over the top of the ship. It was up quite a ways. It wasn't that close. But the captain, to give the order, he told, I don't remember the gun mount, he says, load and stand by to fire. Okay. Well, he never gave the, because we didn't know what the heck it was. And several parachutes opened. No, several people bailed out, but one parachute opened. And he, you know, it was not too far off our starboard side. We went and to recover the guy. The others we never found. Okay, there was 2 other people, I believe, I was told. I didn't actually see this. I mean, I seen the guy in the water, and we went alongside of him, and they had a BAR trained at him. The executive officer had his .45 out, because we didn't know if this guy's going to throw something at us or what. But you could see he was weak. He was like, you know, he was so stressed out and weak, he couldn't climb on board. So a couple of sailors went in and helped him, pull him up on board. Came on board, and he got sick to his stomach. And they took him to sick bay. And then we seen him around the deck. Afterwards, he was with us. I think it was a couple of days. And then a chopper came over and picked him up. And they flew him over to the carrier. Now, he claims he was a rebel, and to this day, I don't know. Then we had heard, and of course this was maybe rumors, but they said that he was transferred to Florida, that they had a base there or something. So he was moved there, and we don't know whatever happened to him. But we did have a doctor on board during that time, which we never had a doctor on board. And there was people there that, there was rumors at the time that maybe some of these people were CIA guys, and they had just khaki uniforms on, nothing on the khaki. I remember the one guy with a machine gun with some of the clip. It was empty, you know. It wasn't a full clip, looked like he was using it. And we didn't, but the command really never gave us any information of what was taking place. And I understand it was just recently, just a few years back, it was declassified. We had a Navy reunion down in Norfolk, and we went on board. I don't remember the ship. I think it's down there in port. And they have sort of a museum. And one of my other buddies, we were walking through, and they say, "Hey, we're in the museum." They showed Task Group Alpha, and they talked about the Bay of Pigs in there. So, but from what I understand, reading now, or, you know, recently, that it was a CIA plot, and it was Eisenhower put it together, and then when the new administration came in, they weren't happy about it, and it's a shame. Maybe things would be a lot better today in Cuba had we knocked this guy off. Coming back off the Cuban crisis, we all felt bad. Everybody on the ship wanted us to help. You know what I mean? They would have loved to heard the 5-inch and the 3-inch 50 guns being fired, okay, to help out the rebels, but of course that never happened. You know, so after the war there, we stayed in the area for a while to look for survivors and things. We had a doctor on board. We brought some wounded rebels on board, and that's basically what happened there.